They say beauty fades, but in Hollywood, it's a full contact sport. Aging gracefully? Nice try. Here, the pressure to stay young is more intense than a Marvel movie budget. Some stars fight it, some embrace it, and some, well, let's just say their faces are now directed by CGI. From red carpet royalty to shocking transformations, we're diving into the wild world of Hollywood's eternal youth obsession. What's real? What's reconstructed? And did time do this? Or did someone get a little too friendly with their surgeon? Drop a 1 in the comments if you're ready for jaw-dropping before and afters and the truth behind fame, beauty, and the race against wrinkles. Let's go. Terry Hatcher's ageless mystery. Terry Hatcher, yes, Terry, shot to fame as the whip-smart Lois Lane in Lois and Clark and later solidified her TV icon status as Susan Mayer in Desperate Housewives. But in Hollywood, where beauty standards are stricter than a Marvel movie NDA, Hatcher has found herself in the middle of a never-ending game of did she or didn't she. Speculation about Botox and fillers has followed her for years, despite her insistence that she hasn't undergone any major procedures. Yet, fans can't help but notice her once expressive face looking, well, a little less expressive these days. Has time done its thing, or has Hollywood's youth-obsessed pressure led to a few enhancements? The jury's still out, but that hasn't stopped the internet from playing detective. Despite the chatter, Hatcher has been refreshingly open about the realities of aging in Hollywood. In her memoir, Burnt Toast, she spills on body image struggles, beauty expectations, and embracing self-love. Because sometimes you just have to own your wrinkles. These days, she's balancing a quieter life with acting, charity work, and proving that aging doesn't mean fading away. Drop a 1 if you still think she's loising nothing. Bridget Fonda, Hollywood to homemaker. Once a 90s silver screen queen, Bridget Fonda had it all: flawless beauty, undeniable talent, and a last name that practically screamed Hollywood royalty. From single white female to Jackie Brown, she was a regular on red carpets and a pride of the Fonda dynasty. And then, poof, she disappeared faster than a bad sequel idea. In the early 2000s, Fonda did the unthinkable. She walked away from Hollywood, trading scripts for a quiet life with composer Danny Elfman. Was it the brutal industry pressure? The 2003 car accident that left her with a fractured vertebra? Or did she just decide that fame wasn't all it was cracked up to be? Whatever the reason, she never looked back. Recent sightings of Fonda have sent the internet into a frenzy, with fans comparing her to her former self. Some call it natural aging, others say she's let herself go. But why do we act like stepping away from the spotlight is a crime? Fonda has made it clear she's happy, she's content, and she has zero interest in a Hollywood comeback. Maybe the real transformation isn't in her looks, it's in her priorities. Melanie Griffith, Hollywood's beauty gamble. Melanie Griffith, working girl, something wild, and the 80s it girl with the megawatt smile, once ruled Hollywood with her charm, talent, and signature blonde locks. But these days, the conversation isn't about her filmography, it's about her face. Aging in Hollywood is a high-stakes game, and Griffith went all in. Years of Botox, facelifts, and filler experiments have left her looking, well, different. Fans debate whether it's simply time doing its thing or a case of too much too soon. Even Griffith herself has admitted she may have gone overboard, confessing to reversing some procedures. But let's be real. Undoing a facelift isn't exactly like hitting Ctrl+Z. Despite the scrutiny, Griffith remains resilient, occasionally appearing in films and embracing life beyond the red carpet. Her transformation is less about regret and more about the impossible beauty standards Hollywood imposes. Was the pursuit of eternal youth worth it? Maybe, maybe not. But if there's one thing Griffith has proven, it's that even in an industry obsessed with perfection, she's still got the guts to own her choices. If you want to explore the journey with me, please leave number 1 and watch this video until the end. Interesting things are waiting for you in the video. Brooke Shields, aging on her own terms. Brooke Shields, the brows, the piercing blue eyes, the Calvin Klein ads that made America collectively blush. She was Hollywood's ultimate beauty icon, the face of effortless elegance in the Blue Lagoon. But now, at 59, she's no longer just a symbol of youthful perfection. She's the subject of endless debates. Why? Because she had the audacity to age naturally. In an industry where faces stay frozen in time, sometimes literally, Shields has taken a different path. Wrinkles? She's got 'em. Softer jawline? Sure. A face that actually moves? You bet. While some admire her for embracing time with grace, others act like she's personally betrayed the fountain of youth. Should she have caved to Hollywood's obsession with fillers and lifts? Should she be cryogenically preserved like the rest of them? The internet can't seem to decide. But let's be real. This woman has survived way more than a few judgmental Instagram comments. She's tackled hypersexualized roles as a child star, endured a high-profile divorce from Andre Agassi, and battled postpartum depression while the world watched. And now, by simply existing as a woman over 50 with an expressive face, she's somehow controversial. If aging naturally is an act of defiance, then Brooke Shields is officially a Hollywood rebel. Lindsay Lohan, Hollywood's ultimate comeback. Lindsay Lohan, child star, teen queen, Mean Girls legend. Back in the early 2000s, she was everywhere. The Parent Trap made us do double takes. Freaky Friday proved she could hold her own. And Mean Girls, iconic. But then, Hollywood's golden girl hit a rough patch. Multiple rehabs, court appearances, and more tabloid drama than an entire season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The radiant redhead we once knew seemed lost in a whirlwind of scandals, weight fluctuations, and the unforgiving lens of fame. For years, Lohan's transformation was dissected like a case study in what not to do in Hollywood. The once fresh-faced starlet now faced endless speculation about everything: her health, her choices, even her face. Had the industry's pressures taken their toll? Was it just life catching up? Or was it all exaggerated by the relentless media circus? Whatever the cause, Lohan became less of a movie star and more of a cautionary tale. But here's the twist. Lindsay isn't a tragedy. In 2022, she made a triumphant return with Falling for Christmas on Netflix, proving she still had that spark. Now living in Dubai with her financier husband, Bader Shammas, and their newborn son, she seems to be rewriting her own narrative, this time without the paparazzi in tow. No more wild club nights, no more courtroom sagas, just a woman carving out her own path on her own terms. And honestly, that might just be the greatest plot twist of all. Heidi Montag, the plastic surgery spiral. Heidi Montag, the Hills starlet, reality TV drama queen, and the woman who made headlines for going under the knife 10 times in one day. Yes, you read that right, 10. At just 23, she decided to trade in her girl-next-door look for a Hollywood makeover that felt more sci-fi than reality TV. Brow lifts, nose jobs, chin reductions, and a breast augmentation that could double as a flotation device. Her transformation was nothing short of extreme. But what was supposed to be the ultimate glow-up quickly turned into a cautionary tale. Fans were stunned, critics were ruthless, and suddenly, Heidi wasn't famous for her reality TV antics. She was the poster child for plastic surgery gone too far. Instead of boosting her career, the drastic transformation made her look older, more sculpted than human, and, ironically, less like herself. The media dubbed her a plastic doll, and the once rising star became a walking reminder of Hollywood's impossible beauty standards. Years later, Heidi came clean about her regrets. "If I could go back, I wouldn't do it," she admitted. The emotional and psychological toll was far greater than she ever expected. Loneliness, anxiety, and the exhausting pressure to maintain an image that no longer felt like her. Today, she's stepped back from the spotlight, focusing on family and personal growth, but her story remains a stark warning. In an industry obsessed with perfection, chasing the ideal look can sometimes cost more than just money. It can cost your sense of self. Kirstie Alley, Hollywood's weight obsession. Kirstie Alley wasn't just a star. She was a force. Whether stealing scenes on Cheers or making audiences laugh in Look Who's Talking, she had that rare mix of humor, beauty, and charisma that made her unforgettable. But as the years passed, the spotlight shifted from her talent to her weight, a brutal reality for women in Hollywood. Alley's fluctuating figure became tabloid fodder, overshadowing her career and turning her into a walking headline. She openly battled weight loss struggles, jumping from glamorous red carpets to brutal media scrutiny, all while navigating Hollywood's impossible beauty standards. But unlike many who crumbled under the pressure, Alley fought back, with humor, honesty, and a stint on Dancing with the Stars that proved she still had moves. She finished second, but let's be real. She won in spirit. Of course, Alley was never one to shy away from controversy. From promoting weight loss products to her unfiltered political takes, she kept people talking, sometimes for reasons other than her acting. But through it all, she remained unapologetically herself, flaws, opinions, and all. Though her career slowed in later years, her candidness about aging, weight, and personal battles made her more relatable than ever. In a world obsessed with perfection, Kirstie Alley reminded us that real is far more interesting. Kathleen Turner, Hollywood's sultry survivor. Kathleen Turner, the voice, the look, the attitude. In the 80s, she wasn't just a star, she was a force. From body heat to Romancing the Stone, she oozed confidence, sex appeal, and that unmistakable husky voice that could melt steel. But as the years passed, Hollywood's femme fatale faced a battle that even her fiercest roles couldn't prepare her for: rheumatoid arthritis. The disease didn't just attack her joints, it reshaped her entire life. Fans watched as her appearance changed. Weight fluctuations, a fuller face, stiff movements, all side effects of the powerful medications she needed just to function. And in classic Hollywood fashion, people talked. The same industry that once worshipped her allure now whispered about how different she looked. But here's the thing about Kathleen Turner. She never let anyone define her by her looks, then or now. Instead of fading away, she leaned in. She took on theater, television, and voice work. Jessica Rabbit, anyone? Proving that raw talent doesn't wrinkle, and charisma doesn't need Botox. She's been unapologetic about her journey, her body, and her refusal to conform to outdated beauty standards. Turner's story isn't just about survival, it's about dominance, resilience, and proving that true Hollywood royalty doesn't need to beg for relevance. Caitlyn Jenner, transformation under the spotlight. Caitlyn Jenner, once the world's greatest athlete, now one of the most talked about figures in modern history. When she transitioned in 2015, it wasn't just personal, it was global news. That groundbreaking Vanity Fair cover? Instant history. But with that visibility came relentless scrutiny, not just about gender identity, but about how she transitioned, especially when it came to her appearance. From Olympic gold to red carpet gowns, Jenner's transformation was accompanied by a series of dramatic cosmetic surgeries that sparked heated debates. Was she embracing her authentic self? Or was she just trading one set of beauty standards for another? Some praised her courage, while others questioned why transitioning seemed to require chasing Hollywood's version of femininity: youthful, polished, flawless. The irony? Even after stepping into her true identity, Jenner found herself still battling society's impossible expectations. As the years pass, the conversation hasn't quieted. Critics dissect her aging, fans defend her choices, and Jenner, well, she keeps moving forward. Despite the noise, she's remained a vocal advocate for the transgender community, using her platform to push for awareness and change. Love her or hate her, Caitlyn Jenner's story isn't just about transformation, it's about identity, fame, and the unrelenting pressure of the public eye. Janice Dickinson, supermodel, survivor, and shock factor. Janice Dickinson didn't just walk the runway, she owned it. In the 70s and 80s, she was the face of fashion, gracing Vogue covers, ruling prestigious catwalks, and redefining what it meant to be a supermodel before the term even existed. With her striking looks and no-nonsense attitude, she was the epitome of confidence and allure. But as time passed, the one thing the fashion industry doesn't forgive, aging, became her biggest battle. Determined to maintain her youthful glow, Dickinson went all in on the plastic surgery playbook. Botox, facelifts, fillers, you name it, she tried it. The transformation was dramatic, turning her from a timeless beauty into a cautionary tale of Hollywood's obsession with eternal youth. Instead of being remembered for her groundbreaking career, she became tabloid fodder, her once iconic face now the subject of speculation, judgment, and endless debates about the price of beauty. But in true Janice Dickinson fashion, she owns it. No apologies, no regrets, just brutal honesty about the pressures of aging in an industry that discards women past their prime. Whether as a top model judge, reality TV star, or outspoken advocate for beauty transparency, Dickinson refuses to fade quietly. Love her or question her choices, one thing's for sure, Janice Dickinson will always be Janice Dickinson, unfiltered, unapologetic, and completely unforgettable. Sarah Jessica Parker, wrinkles, gray hair, and zero regrets. Sarah Jessica Parker, forever Carrie Bradshaw, queen of bold fashion choices, and the woman who made running in stilettos look way too easy. At 59, she's still rocking the same fearless attitude, but instead of chasing eternal youth like so many in Hollywood, she's choosing to age on her terms. No frozen expressions, no overfilled lips, just wrinkles, gray hair, and an unshakable confidence that somehow ruffles more feathers than Botox ever could. While some critics zero in on her changing appearance because apparently aging is a crime in Hollywood, others celebrate her for flipping the script on beauty standards. In a world where ageless is considered a compliment, Parker's unapologetic embrace of time is practically revolutionary. "I don't want to look like I did at 35, she once said, because shocker, she's not 35. And unlike many of her peers, she refuses to morph into an unrecognizable version of herself just to appease the impossible demands of the industry. Still, Parker isn't just making a statement, she's making moves. She continues to dazzle in and just like that, proving that a woman in her 50s can still be glamorous, powerful, and completely relevant without a surgeon's intervention. Love her, critique her, or argue about her hair. One thing is certain, Sarah Jessica Parker isn't here to be anyone but herself. And that, in itself, is the ultimate power move. Pamela Anderson, from bombshell to bare-faced beauty. Pamela Anderson wasn't just a Baywatch lifeguard. She was a cultural phenomenon. With platinum blonde waves, a gravity-defying figure, and that iconic red swimsuit, she became the ultimate 90s bombshell, forever running in slow motion in the minds of millions. But Hollywood's obsession with perfection doesn't age well, and neither do the expectations placed on its stars. Anderson, like many in the spotlight, tried to keep up. Breast augmentations, facial tweaks, and an industry that constantly whispered, "Stay young, stay perfect, stay relevant." But now, at 57, she's flipping the script. Gone are the fillers and over-the-top enhancements. In their place, a woman embracing herself, naturally. In a surprising move, Anderson has openly expressed regret over past cosmetic procedures, choosing to age on her terms instead of Hollywood's. But Pam isn't just about beauty transformations. She's about real transformation. These days, she's a powerhouse for animal rights, environmental activism, and women's empowerment. Whether she's advocating for PETA or redefining what aging in Hollywood should look like, one thing is clear: Pamela Anderson isn't just a symbol of beauty anymore. She's a symbol of self-acceptance. Kelly McGillis, the Top Gun rebel who said no to Hollywood's beauty game. Back in the 80s, Kelly McGillis was the on-screen dream girl, radiant, talented, and the envy of anyone who ever wanted to slow dance with Tom Cruise. From Top Gun to Witness and The Accused, she had the kind of presence that made Hollywood take notice. But unlike many of her peers, McGillis didn't play the never-ending game of cosmetic upkeep. Instead, she made a choice almost unheard of in Tinseltown. She let herself age. And boy, did that send people into a frenzy. When Top Gun: Maverick hit theaters in 2022, fans quickly noticed McGillis was missing. The actress later admitted she wasn't asked back, hinting that her natural aging might have played a role in the decision. Unlike Cruise, whose Hollywood fountain of youth seems bottomless, McGillis chose real life over the spotlight, trading red carpets for a quiet, peaceful existence in North Carolina, where she now runs an inn and lives life on her own terms. McGillis's journey is a powerful statement in an industry that often values eternal youth over raw talent. While she may no longer fit the traditional Hollywood mold, she's carved out a different kind of legacy, one of authenticity, defiance, and self-acceptance. And honestly, that might just be cooler than flying jets with Tom Cruise. LaToya Jackson, fame, family, and the face that sparked debate. Once admired for her natural beauty, LaToya Jackson has become more famous for her transformation than her talent. With a striking resemblance to her legendary brother Michael, her evolving appearance has fueled endless speculation. Was it the pressure of fame, family comparisons, or just the Jackson family's complicated relationship with cosmetic surgery? Whatever the reason, LaToya's once soft, expressive features have taken on a more sculpted, almost mask-like look, making her a lightning rod for criticism. But say what you will, LaToya owns her choices. Despite the scrutiny, she's stayed active in entertainment, hopping between reality TV gigs and advocacy work. Her personal life, marked by a controlling father and a toxic marriage, has been as public as her face. Yet through it all, she's managed to carve out an identity beyond the Jackson name, even if it hasn't always been easy. While her surgeries remain a hot topic, LaToya's journey is about more than just aesthetics. It's about survival in a world that never stops watching. Living in the shadow of Michael Jackson was never going to be simple, but LaToya continues to navigate fame her way. Love it or question it, one thing's for sure, she's still standing, still performing, and still keeping the world talking. Donatella Versace, fashion, power, and the price of perfection. Donatella Versace, once the embodiment of Italian glamour, now one of the most talked-about faces in fashion. As the powerhouse behind the Versace empire, she defined 90s elegance with her bold style, cascading blonde locks, and signature smolder. But fast forward to today, and the question on everyone's lips isn't about her fashion genius, it's what happened to Donatella's face. Over the years, Donatella has undergone a series of dramatic cosmetic procedures, transforming her look into something almost sculpted. Her skin appears permanently taut, her lips exaggerated, and her once natural beauty now unmistakably altered. Critics call it too much, fans call it a choice, And the fashion world? Well, it just keeps watching. Has she fallen victim to the industry's relentless pressure to maintain youth? Or is this just Donatella owning her image in a way only she can? Love it or not, Donatella is still running Versace, still shaping trends, and still proving that in fashion, reinvention is everything. Her transformation may be controversial, but let's be real, so is every fashion icon who refuses to play by the rules. If Versace is about anything, it's excess, drama, and pushing boundaries. And Donatella, she is Versace. Meg Ryan, Hollywood's rom-com darling to plastic surgery mystery. Meg Ryan wasn't just America's sweetheart. She was the romantic comedy genre. From When Harry Met Sally to Sleepless in Seattle, she had that rare mix of charm, wit, and effortless beauty that made her the dream girl of an entire generation. But as Hollywood's relentless obsession with youth crept in, Ryan, like so many before her, felt the pressure to keep up. And that's when the conversation around her shifted. Her once natural, girl-next-door glow was replaced by a noticeably altered appearance, plumper lips, tighter skin, and a stiffness that made fans do a double take. Instead of preserving her youthful charm, the procedures seemed to take away the warmth and relatability that defined her early roles. And in an industry where expressions are everything, her transformation led to more headlines than movie roles. These days, Ryan has taken a step back from the spotlight, shifting her focus to directing and producing. But while her legacy as a rom-com icon remains intact, her evolution serves as yet another reminder of Hollywood's unforgiving beauty standards. In a world that demands eternal youth, the real tragedy isn't Meg Ryan's changing face. It's the impossible expectations that made her feel like she had to change it in the first place. Brigitte Bardot, from bombshell to bold activist. Brigitte Bardot, the woman who defined beauty, sensuality, and effortless French glamour in the 50s and 60s. With her golden hair, sultry gaze, and rebellious spirit, she became the ultimate screen siren, the it girl of an era obsessed with her every move. But while Hollywood clings desperately to youth, Bardot did something almost unthinkable. She let time happen. Now 90, Bardot has fully embraced aging, rejecting the endless cycle of cosmetic enhancements that many of her peers fell into. The once flawless face that graced magazine covers has transformed, lined with the marks of time. And yet, she remains utterly herself, unapologetic, defiant, and uninterested in the world's opinion of her appearance. While some lament the loss of the breathtaking beauty she once was, Bardot has spent decades proving that she is far more than just a pretty face. Stepping away from the silver screen in the 1970s, she dedicated her life to animal rights, becoming one of the most vocal activists in the world. While her strong political stances have sparked controversy, her legacy as a cinematic icon and relentless advocate remains intact. Bardot never conformed, not to Hollywood, not to time, and certainly not to society's expectations of how a woman should age. And that in itself is a statement more powerful than any role she ever played. Goldie Hawn, Hollywood's eternal sunshine. Goldie Hawn, effervescent, hilarious, and still radiating that signature sparkle decades after her laugh-in days. She wasn't just a comedic darling of the 60s and 70s, she was an institution, an Oscar winner, Cactus Flower, and the queen of feel-good hits like Private Benjamin, Overboard, and The First Wives Club. But while Hollywood's leading ladies are often expected to fade quietly, Goldie never got the memo. Now, in her late 70s, Hawn is still very much Goldie. Blonde, beaming, and full of that boundless energy that made the world fall in love with her. Sure, whispers of cosmetic tweaks follow her, as they do with any woman in Hollywood past 40. But she's never let aging define her. Instead, she's redefined it, proving that joy, wit, and purpose will always be more powerful than a frozen face. Beyond the screen, Hawn's true passion lies in her Goldie Hawn Foundation, dedicated to children's mental health. While her legacy in film is undeniable, it's her commitment to making a difference off-screen that cements her as more than just a Hollywood icon. She's an inspiration. Whether she's stealing scenes in a movie or advocating for mindfulness and education, Goldie Hawn remains proof that aging isn't something to fear. It's just another chapter in a life well lived.